Welcome to this special post-WrestleMania edition of Hot Tag with J&W and yours truly, the J-Dog. How you doing, boss man?
I'm doing pretty good for the most part. WrestleMania. We got some stuff that we're gonna talk about with it.
Some heavy stuff, man. Oh,
who the heck?
Speaking of heavy.
WrestleMania, but first you want to talk about WrestleMania, you got to include the Coletrain, right? Right?
Hold on. Who added you?
Wait.
Y'all didn't know I was
coming on? Ladies and gentlemen.
You can't have a round table without me.
You're damn right, man.
Hey, boss,
welcome to Hot Tag Podcast, Coletrain.
Yes, sir. I'm here to talk about WrestleMania, chop it up with you guys. One of the best podcasts in the game. I'm excited.
Thank you, man. And let me do it properly. Go. How you doing, Coletrain?
I am doing amazing. It feels great to be here. We got a lot to talk about with WrestleMania, Vince McMahon, and what's going on with what happened with the main event. What's next for WWE? I'm excited, and man, it was an emotional roller coaster. That's all I'm gonna say this weekend. I had a blast though.
Oh yeah, man, for sure.
I agree with that, man. Let's get cooking and right into it, man. Let's not waste any time because that is great. We just say it was a roller coaster, right? And I think we can all agree on that. So what I've said before, and I've told Boss without getting on this soapbox, I want to do something different here, man. We have a lot of negativity everywhere, whether it's in sports and politics and all this. So we like to have conversations here, be passionate about professional wrestling, bring that passion. If we criticize, man. But we ain't here to call anybody stupid. We ain't here to think we're better than anybody else because we got a different opinion. So we all had kind of different opinions that I heard here and there after WrestleMania, the ending. And that made me think, damn, let's get together and let's talk about this. You know, me and Bossman kind of disagreed on some stuff. We didn't know where we were going to go. I said, damn, let's do it. Let's do it. And let's show the world how it's done, man. We sit here, we could agree, disagree, you know, but we still showing some love for everybody in the community, you know, and doing that. So let's start off with maybe stuff that we agree. And I'm going to ask you guys. We all agree this was a great WrestleMania?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I agree.
Okay. I think that this was the best WrestleMania probably since WrestleMania, I would say like 30, 31, 30, I don't know, 34 was okay. Well, I have a little bias to 34 because I was there. But
I was there too, man. I didn't know you were there in Perth. Get out of here. New Orleans?
You were there too?
I was there, man. I was there.
Man, that atmosphere was great.
The atmosphere was great. Absolutely. Some matches disappointed, but you know, anyway, well, we could talk all day here about WrestleMania 34.
WrestleMania 34. But I would say this has been one of the best WrestleManias in the last 10 years. I will say that.
Absolutely.
This is probably my top 10 and down. That's amazing.
I put this thing in the top 5, and I'm just got off the top of my head. Like my favorite WrestleMania 17, of course, always sticks out. Everybody says the first, best one. You got 19. I love 19. I love 21.
I love 21 too. And 23 is up there with me too.
You and Bossman, like Bossman has a soft spot for 23, man.
Yes, I do. 23 was pretty fantastic, man. Seriously.
Yeah, I love 23.
Yeah. I don't know, man. That's in the time that I had my Cena hate going on. And I'm a big Shawn Michaels fan, so I didn't enjoy him beating him, but it was a good WrestleMania. It was two big title matches, main event title matches there.
And then great. 24 and 25, they had their moments. Those were great manias. Looking back at them, some of the greatest WrestleMania matches of all time came from those two WrestleManias. So I mean, for me, WrestleMania 39 is probably in my top 10 WrestleManias of all time. I might put it at 6 or 5. I got to go back and rewatch some things, but it was a really fantastic show. Like they executed this really, really well. Like I thoroughly enjoyed everything they did.
Right, especially night 1, right?
Oh yeah, night one
was fire.
Amazing, top to bottom was booked perfectly in my opinion.
And just so many matches you could say were show stealers, man. From 1 and 2, if we put them together, 1 and 2 compared to other WrestleManias, I mean, the matches up and down the card.
Come on, man! Like
they were fun. This was freaking fun, man.
This blew 38 out of the water. Like I remember not liking the 38 main event. From a match point, it was boring to me. Like the match point from 39 was it was executed perfectly.
Right.
Awesome.
Or almost perfectly.
And that leads me to the second question, though, before we start getting into that main event, because we know what we're talking about.
Yeah, sir.
Should they have pulled the trigger? Should Cody, we're going to talk about all that. I just want to make sure before that, we're not Roman haters here, right? We all enjoy what Roman Reigns is doing. Roman Reigns does not suck, right?
No, absolutely not. He's one of the best things going in professional wrestling, in my opinion.
We agree on that, absolutely. So we all agree on that. So but this is where I take off my cap and I could be a fan and I say, hey, Roman Reigns is fantastic. I love the bloodline storyline like most people do. But the question is, I guess, and this is where we could disagree and we could start getting into the meat of the potatoes here of the podcast. Should they have pulled the trigger? Was this the moment to give Cody that win? And this is where I think people disagreed. And I'm going to leave out all again the hate. Some people are like, oh, Roman sucks. I'm tired of him. This and that. No, Roman's fantastic.
He's fantastic.
We all agree.
I'm going to go first. So what you got?
As far as were you finished with your question, J-Dog, or were you going to?
Yeah. No, I mean, I think we all agreed. I just wanted to get those things out of the way. This was a great WrestleMania, and we all love Roman Reigns' work. We all think he's one of the best things going besides MJF probably in wrestling today.
Oh yeah, I can definitely agree there.
And of course, this podcast, but
yeah, of course. I mean, this is undisputed one of the best things going today as well. But
no, about Roman Reigns though, like I can agree. Like in part of WWE, he definitely doing like to me some of his best work, and this is coming from someone who's like always been a fan of Roman Reigns, even from his Shield days, even his post Shield days. I definitely say this is the best version of Roman Reigns that we are getting. And when it comes to like overall opinion on the Bloodline storyline, I think it's good. I think it's great. Definitely one of my personal favorite storylines in WWE, and was definitely one of the things that kept me watching week in and week out. So yeah, Roman Reigns, 41%.
Yeah, I would say Roman Reigns has been fantastic. I've always stated, and I've said this for years, even before he turned heel. I said, if Roman Reigns was a heel, the run that he had at the top from 2015 all the way up to 2019 before everything happened with him would be one of the best runs ever. Because he's a natural born heel. He had the charisma, as he's shown that during the pandemic, carried this show during the pandemic as the Universal Champion, has carried it out of the pandemic, post-pandemic, and still one of the best things going. The Bloodline story has been absolutely fantastic. He's gotten his cousins over with the Usos. They've been fantastic. Main event Jey Uso was a thing. Solo Sikoa, he's a bad man. That dude is incredible. So there's no hate on Roman Reigns. I always adore Roman Reigns as a heel. It's just for your question about pulling a trigger. To me, I thought that WrestleMania was the perfect time to end it. And here's why. Because if you think about it, Cody Rhodes won the Royal Rumble. He earned the right to be in the main event of WrestleMania. His story was to win the world title, a championship that his father never won. He wants to create his own legacy. He left WWE to do that. Became one of the best things in wrestling while he was gone. And now he's coming back to finish the story. If it's not Cody, then who else? I'm being serious. I want to ask you guys this. Who else do you think should beat Roman Reigns? I thought Cody Rhodes was the perfect guy to do it, because you didn't capitalize with Drew McIntyre. Y'all said no on McIntyre. Y'all said no on Sami Zayn. And we understood why Sami Zayn lost. Sami Zayn lost for a great reason, because look what happened on that one in that main event. That was perfect.
Absolutely.
Perfect. That was the way he was supposed to do it.
That was the story. That was the story.
He wasn't feuding with Roman Reigns. He was feuding with the Usos.
Right. We got two big WrestleMania moments, like Sammy said at the press conference. Yeah. I got two great WrestleMania moments. Elimination Chamber, and then now.
Right. So Cody Rhodes to me was the guy, but I can see why people didn't want Cody to win. because Cody Rhodes, you got to understand, he was injured. He was out for a while. And people have told me they felt like he was shoved into the main event, and he should have never been number 30 in the Royal Rumble because it felt like he didn't really deserve the spot he was getting. I get that point because he was injured. He was gone for a little bit of 2022 after his match with Seth Rollins. So I understand that part.
And think about all the press that they put behind him in the lead up to the Royal Rumble too. Like it's like a lot of that hype around the Royal Rumble was centered around Cody coming back as well.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
Yeah.
So I can see where people say, well, he feels like Roman Reigns, where they just put him in there for the WrestleMania season, because people have told me that too. Some of my friends said that, and I said, yeah, I agree a little bit with that point, because I mean they did build the Rumble around him, because I mean if it wasn't Cody, then who else?
They could have done that better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I felt like there were many people that could have won this Royal Rumble and gave Roman Reigns a run for his money, that they should have built around. But WWE just kept it on Cody, and I felt like that was a mistake. They should have had more options, in my opinion.
Now, Jada, how did you think they could have handled that better?
What, at the Royal Rumble?
Yeah.
Well, it depends, because this is what I've loved about, not dodging your question, but I'll get to. This is what I love about this Bloodline storyline and the way that Triple H has been handling this. It could branch out in so many different directions, and it was predictable but unpredictable. So that element too was so awesome. And from the beginning, I was telling you, boss man, like when Cody won the Royal Rumble and they hyped him, like, man, it wasn't a surprise. It's like they're telling us, here, this is the next guy. We're gonna give him the title. And we're all thinking, yeah, no, but they're pushing him too much. And I thought that too. I thought at the beginning, oh, no. They're pushing him so much that he's not going to win, man. Roman's going to beat him. And I thought from the beginning, Roman's going to beat him because they're pushing him too much. He's going to be humbled at WrestleMania, and then he's going to go on this year-long journey where people then aren't going to buy it because now he struggled, and he's going to win it again. But I kept going back and forth. That was so good. I kept going back and forth. I kept like, no. But then as the weeks went by, I'm like, man, Cody's ready. And if you heard these podcasts, I've been like, dude, I love Roman and I think he should keep it, but at the same time, Cody is ready to be the man. He looks great in the ring. He's marketable. He's a sports entertainer. He's a pro wrestler. He's got it for everybody. He could be. He is the man for everybody. And they haven't seen anybody like him in WWE for a long time. I don't care how popular Sammy is, and I'm a bigger fan of Sami Zayn on a personal level. But when I go back, Sami Zayn, KO, my dudes, man. But when I step back, Cody Rhodes needs to be the man that carries that championship for a long time. So I said, damn, he's ready. I'm with Cole. It's like, okay, this is the moment that they should have pulled the trigger. And then when they didn't do it, I was such in shock, boss man. I was like,
me too. I was genuinely shocked.
Like, what the hell? So anyway, going back, because I skipped kind of your question, how I would have handled it, it depends. If I'm going to pull the trigger with Cody and he would have won at WrestleMania, then I would have had him come in at, number 10, 15, something like that, and show him struggle more throughout the Royal Rumble. I wouldn't have announced that he was coming in or even made that big of a deal, either one. Let him come in, let him struggle, do that. And then the rest of the thing was booked fine. The rest of the WrestleMania season was booked fine with the promos and all that. That's how I would have handled the Royal Rumble, to answer your question. But if we can piggyback off from there, what I said, now like, hey, I'm bouncing back and forth, man. Should he do it? Should he not? And I was there, man. But then in the end, I think we were all shocked. Me and Boston were doing the watch along. We were quiet for 5 minutes. I think he counted. 5 minutes. We're just quiet after 5 minutes. I didn't tell you why in the thing, but I was quiet too, because I was like, okay, something's gonna happen. Somebody's gonna come on and be like, no, this is not how we're gonna end it again. But no, it's the same thing. And then I talked to my buddy that same night. You guys were chatting too, and I called my buddy. Hey, call me, man. He called. He loves Roman Reigns too. He was fine with him. He was fine with either way. Either win. He's like, hey, I was cool. I see Cody's ready, but I love Roman Reigns, and I think they could do this, and that. And he gave me these ideas of what they could do now, because the bloodline, he's like, they cheated because they're still with him. Like the bloodline's still showing some cracks, but until they actually crack, he's like, next year's WrestleMania or SummerSlam, whatever it is, now the bloodline, he's gonna ask for their help. They ain't gonna come out. Then he's like, oh shit, now he lost. Now Cody takes it, or whoever it is.
Right.
I still think it should be, to answer Colt, I still think it should be Cody, unless they want to see, how over Sammy really is, or I mean, Gunther's another dude, but he's a heel too right now. So I would just keep the title of him. He's somebody that you in the future, maybe give him that world title year, 2 years or something from now. He's ready.
I always said that Gunther, if Cody would have won at WrestleMania 39, the next person to be champion should have been Gunther, and Gunther should have won the Royal Rumble next year and beat Cody at 40. That's what I would have done if Cody would have won.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
And I remember J&W said the same thing, because I remember we were talking in the Twitter chats, and he was like, "Man, I don't know about Cody. He's been pushed a little too hard." He also said that I don't know if I'm fully behind him yet. So y'all had the same thought at first about.
But then when we got to Mania, we were all fully behind him. We're like, "Come on, Cody!" They did a great job, and I don't know if they did themselves. This could be the next question. I don't know if they did themselves the disservice of like not. And I was okay with it after the initial shock. I'm like, I get it, man. I get it. We're going to have long-term story. And if I could read, this quote was from an Instagram comment on a WWE page. They said, they probably won't be able to make this long-term story since everybody's attention span nowadays has been fried. So they're saying that people aren't going to stay long-term. And then Triple H talked about it, and Roman talked about it in the press conference, saying, we ain't serving you McDonald's or Burger King. I'm serving you filet mignon, man. You guys got to wait. And we're doing this. I got all that, and I'm like, okay, I love the long-term booking, but is 3 years enough? Do we need to go another year? And that's where I'm like, I don't know if they can keep it interesting enough that we are going to care that much for next WrestleMania. And I'm going to ask you guys, are you going to care for SummerSlam or next WrestleMania if Cody takes it there? And what is it going to take for you to stay on board with that?
Cole, you're the guest. I'm going to let you go first.
Go ahead.
And this is a question I've been thinking about too, because shout outs to Expert Game. Expert asked me this question the other day. He said, would you care if Roman Reigns holds it to WrestleMania 40? At that point, if he loses it, then would you care? And go back to your point, J-Dog, it depends on how the story's going, because this is 3 years now. Every year they've added people to the bloodline, like Solo Sikoa. We had Sami Zayn in there for a while. So they made it interesting every single year, but like, what can you do now? Is somebody else going to join the bloodline? Maybe you might bring Rikishi back or something. I don't know, to make things interesting going into a fourth year. But if Roman holds it to WrestleMania 40, I need something else with the bloodline. Either they start showing cracks, some people leave the bloodline, Roman either fights Solo Sikoa or Jey Uso again. I need like some foundation.
Roman and Solo maybe versus the Usos. Maybe there's a split there like that.
A split. Like, I need something interesting if we're going to go another year with this. But if they don't do anything and they just keep the same format going, by the time 2024 get here, I'm not going to care. I'm going to be honest with you. I won't.
Interesting.
Especially with the guy that might be back in charge. We know how he don't like to
get to that, boy.
That's a big segue. I don't know if Boss wants to give another point of that, because that's a big segue. Because I said, just to throw it out that we can go back to, I kept telling Boston right at the end of Mania, you know what? I wanted Cody to win 2 at the moment. I got wrapped up, but I trust the process because I trust Triple H.
I trust Triple H. I believe. I don't know.
I trust the process, but now I don't know if I trust the process after watching Raw. I don't know.
But to finish your question, if Roman Reigns loses that summer, then as people said on Twitter, I won't care what happened at WrestleMania. I won't, because if he loses at SummerSlam and do what I said, you show those cracks. Either the Usos leave him, or Solo Sikoa he fights him at Money in the Bank or whatever, and then he fights Cody again, and then he loses. Then I'll be fine with it. Just long as you show storyline progression getting to SummerSlam, I will be perfectly okay with him dropping it at SummerSlam, or like I said earlier, we're WrestleMania 40.
Right.
But
I mean,
Bossman, what do you
he'll
think?
have his 1,000 days after that, so
maybe
they want that for him to pass Pedro Morales, because maybe they want to put him in that Bob Backlund, Bruno Sammartino, Hogan only list. So I don't know.
And the point that I was making,
I guess that's my theory on it.
Yes, sir. And the point that I would continue to make after WrestleMania went off the air when we were just sitting here having a conversation, that how they follow up with Cody, Bloodline, Roman, Cody, Cody and the entire Bloodline is going to be real critical to see if I am going to give a crap going forward. Because I've also pointed out in the Twitter chat with Cole and everything, I've also pointed out, if they did this to have a sequel, to lead to a sequel down the line with Cody and Roman, I'm perfectly okay with that, because given how that first match was, Ending aside, you cannot take away from that match, and I refuse to let anybody take away and say that was a bad match because of how the ending was. I'm sorry.
Oh my God, that wrestling in that match was
fantastic.
It's everything you wanted more. Casuals loved it. Real hardcore fans loved it. It was a match for everybody. I had casuals texting me on Instagram like, dude, this is great. I haven't watched WWE in a year. I'm excited. I agree.
Take the quality of that match away because of the ending. I'm sorry, because I think
that's a great point, man. That's a great point.
I agree. I refuse. I will fight the quality of that match.
Yeah,
until the end of time, because it was great.
Yeah, whether you agree with it or not, like that's what I'm saying. People say, "Oh, I'm done again," and this is their prerogative. I'm done with WWE. This is bullshit. Okay, you could be unhappy with that ending, but just like any show, even if it's a great show, sometimes they don't give you what you want at certain moments. Sometimes you have to wait a little longer. Sometimes it gets a little boring, but then it comes back. So if you love the storyline and again you trust the process, you stay with it.
Yeah. And so when it comes to like trusting the process of everything, we I find it funny. We say that, and just mere hours later, all of that is flipped on his freaking head. Like, how? And real quick before I get to that, I'm sorry. There's one more Roman and Cody thing on the menu.
Go. That's what we're here for.
Go ahead.
The amount of I think I've kind of learned within the past couple of days. I think wrestling fans can get overly reactive.
Oh yes,
yes. You think?
You think? Just wait till we talk about what happened on Monday.
I'm just saying,
to be fair to wrestling fans, yeah. I think it's more of our society now because I used to watch Game of Thrones. If you guys are familiar with that show.
Oh yes, I love Game of Thrones.
People would flip out the last season. They're rewrite it, do this, do that. I mean, I flip out. I've seen the Halloween movies. They didn't like one of the last movies. They got people telling the director to rewrite the writer to rewrite the movie, to reshoot it, to change the ending.
That
feel entitled to like.
We're telling people that work that do this for a living to rewrite their work because we didn't like it.
Right.
Because something happened that they didn't like. Like I seen that happen with the last 2 Halloween movies. I seen it happen with the most recent Scream. Some people didn't like the direction that they went. People are just entitled these days.
Yeah. Sorry, Bosco.
and it gets to it, but that's
because it's a bigger problem.
Yeah, that's a good point. With wrestling fans, it's a bigger problem, and like the amount of like stuff I've seen of like again, it was like a combination of people crapping on the match, people saying Roman sucks, people saying like, oh, Cody is the word that everybody loves to throw around but don't know the meaning of. Everyone's saying Cody is buried. He will never get this over again. God. It was like it was insane, and I'm like,
it's a little.
And I have to sit back, and I'm like, God, okay, wait a second. Let's tell the entire truth. We were all invested into this match going in.
Big time.
This matchup was freaking fantastic. You're going to really sit here and tell me, especially with how the match ended, that Cody is not going to get even more over from this? And Roman and the Bloodline are not going to become even more, bigger heels after this?
Oh, we saw that already.
Quit playing some overreaction from WrestleMania. It's kind of ridiculous, and I want to bring up one thing that I've been thinking about, and I was waiting to save this point for the podcast. About Roman winning, my frustration with it came from the fact that it was the same thing. It was out of any show to switch up the formula, WrestleMania would have been one of them. And I was admittedly, I've reached the point where I'm like, Roman wins, okay. My main issue was with the finish, and it's like it was the same finish that we've seen over and over again. And so I'm cool with Roman winning, but the finish was the issue. But I think I realized maybe why this decision was made. People are saying, Vince, I'm not going to talk about it. I don't think it was him.
Not yet.
I don't think it was. Yeah, not yet. Anyway, I don't think it was him.
No. Okay. I don't think it was him either. I think that was a pure Triple H call.
Right. Yeah. And I want y'all to think about this. Cody, by the time Cody came in, got hurt, all this stuff, Sammy was still in that trying to be an honorary ooze. Was still trying to be on this honorary, or no, wait, no, that came later. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, that came later.
Oh, you mean when he first came into WrestleMania last year?
When he, yeah,
It was a little bit. It was very shortly after that he started approaching the bloodline.
Yeah. Okay, so after
it was going into the summer because that was a Vince McMahon idea.
Right.
Before he retired, and Triple H took over that and ran with it.
Right. So here's the thing I want to think about. So Sami Zayn already had that bloodline connection from after WrestleMania of last year. Cody was still doing his trilogy with Rollins and had no connection, no type of interaction or anything with the bloodline up to that point. So while Cody was out after his trilogy, we had Sami, and we literally watched in front of us the entire journey with Sami and KO and the bloodline specifically. Cody come back, wins the Rumble, but by this point, Sami's already at like his highest peak as far as like popularity and whatnot is concerned, which led to the great Royal Rumble segment, which led to the match at Elimination Chamber, which led to the tag match at WrestleMania. And the point that I'm making is, I think, my opinion, I think it was probably more important that Sami and KO had their moment at Mania than it was for Cody to have his, given the fact that Cody did get hurt earlier in the year.
Well, that's a great point because that's long term.
Well said. I agree.
That's right. That's a long term booking that we like because that Sami thing was 9-10 months in the making, and that's why people were like at that fever pitch ready to have it happen. I don't think we were there with Cody, and he still was over. So if they do it right, you can still get that big pop at SummerSlam, or if they can pull it off and the fans will stay invested. I mean, next year's WrestleMania, you get that huge pop that you wanted, and even bigger. I had that in some of my notes here, boss. I was saying thing. Yeah, Sami Zayn was 9 months, man, and people were big time into him winning. So maybe, again, I get what Triple H is trying to do with long-term booking. The only question, and it's very delicate, and he even said it. Sometimes you try something, it doesn't work, and you got to go back to drawing board and try it again. But he's trying to do that. What I was going to say about him, Cheat, like you said at the end of the match, I get that it's the same thing. This is what my buddy told me. He said, you know what? But that's been his thing, and that's where it's going to lead to his demise, because when they don't come out to help him and he's left out to dry, that kind of sets that up. Because if he would have won two, like legit in the ring, it doesn't bury Cody, but it doesn't look good. You know, Cody was cheated out of that. People want to see him get that rematch. When he said rematch, that crowd popped on Raw.
It did, yeah.
You know, they want to see him get revenge now on the bloodline. Now it's even more personal. Now it's not Sami and Roman. Now it's Cody and Roman and Solo, and he's going to get his revenge on Solo, and then he's going to, go after Roman and then eventually get that rematch. They already put it out there. We know it's going to happen. So it has to happen. Now, I think that my buddy painted
it will happen, and like you want a way to make it different. I think that they should make the next match a stipulation. Now, I still haven't decided which one it should be yet, but I think you should make maybe like a steel cage or something where you elevate the story of, okay, if there's a steel cage now, how is the bloodline going to get involved?
Right.
I think
if they're still with Roman at that point.
Would you milk it to 3 matches? Would you have him losing in a steel cage? People think he's gonna win now, and they still find a way to cheat, and then you milk it to WrestleMania?
The only problem I see with the steel cage, I hear both of y'all, but I think my only problem I have with the steel cage, if we've seen it done, we've seen like interference still take place inside of the steel cage because we've seen the amount of time we've seen people just come through the ring or break through the door, or climb they kind of killed the magic of a steel cage and its original design of keeping everybody out of the cage. They killed that. So they got to build that. In order for me to be cool with a cage match between them, they're going to have to build the mystique back up of the steel cage.
Also, they're gonna have to like add stakes, like maybe the bloodline gets fired if they get involved. Like they automatically
they're gonna have to double down.
Can we put a clause that if Vince gets too involved in creative, he gets fired?
Please.
we need that clause in there because my God,
this Monday Night Raw though.
let me ask you guys. Look, and it
man.
looks like we're agreeing more and disagreeing because I guess we had time to think about it. I think if we would have had this conversation right after that, because I was all like, man, this is great, man. I'm looking for this long-term storyline, and now I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't know, man. I think they might have
that
pulled the
first
trigger.
night, Boss Man could tell you our Twitter chat was pissed. Like we were not.
I didn't say names.
We were like,
I mentioned it on
this.
stream. I didn't say
I hate
names,
this.
but yeah.
I stayed up, and if this is the hilarious part, I stayed up and watched a couple of post reviews. I watched Gresh's review and I watched Solid Monster because I like to listen to him after pay reviews too. And like I was just like, okay, do they have the same mindset I have? And they both did like this sucks.
I heard Jim Cornette. I just heard Jim Cornette today. He thought that Cody should have won too because he got scared of that. He's saying, hey, this has been long term already. I think that, you strike when the iron is hot kind of thing, and you need to give the people what they want. They did it with Kevin. They could have done it completely, and we would have got maybe a fresh, start from here, and then you could still tell that bloodline storyline. You could still tell it.
Yeah, and absolutely. I mean, or to, you can still continue it, but I think that what would have made it funny is if Roman Reigns would have came out on Monday Night Raw and said, I don't want the Universal Champ, and right in Cody's face, he said, "Okay, man, I'm going to give the Universal Championship back to SmackDown, but see that WWE Championship, the championship that you want? The one that your daddy didn't win, I'm going to keep that and walk off." That would have been fantastic because that would have added a different layer to the story because like now you're getting under Cody's skin at that point.
This is where we disagree because anytime I hear about those titles being on different shows again, my skin crawls, man, because I think they should be unified and stay like that. There is no brand split now. It's bullshit. This is not back in the day when we really had a legit brand split. No. And I'm glad that Bianca and Rhea came out on Raw and kind of teased that. I hope, please God, that they unify those titles too. The only one, unify all those titles, keep the Intercontinental title as the Intercontinental title is being elevated now. That's back to where it was, where it's a step below that world title now. Gunther's doing that. And then the U.S. title could be the, a little bit lower than that and still give it to the, so you have that. You have that great tier. The tag team titles unified, women title unified, and the world title unified.
My thing
Change my mind.
Thing I've always said though,
Look, I understand keeping them together. Like for me, for me, it's just like I like when the world titles are split. If you're gonna have as big of a roster that WWE has, like you can't have one world champion, and because you're gonna have people top stars that deserve the belt or want to be in the main event scene, but everybody can't be in the main event at one time.
Yeah. Wait, but do they have?
I mean, like maybe if
they have that?
Like whenever WWE didn't have, they released all these people, and like before Triple H bought all these people back, then I can see why they had one world like unified championship because they didn't have a big roster, because they gutted their roster. So that's the only thing you really got to think about with unifying the belts, because we seen what happened with that in like the early 2010s when they unified everything, and a lot of people was complaining that Brock Lesnar held the championship hostage when he went away for 6 months, 7 months, and there was no world champion because they didn't have another world champion to carry the show. So we have had that issue before.
That's too much, but I like in the absence of Roman, and Roman doesn't take the time off that Brock does, but I like that Roman Reigns isn't defending that title, every month or whatever on SmackDown or on Raw. I'm old school. I like it that way because it builds up. When we get to a WrestleMania, when we get to SummerSlam, we care more about that. Even Clash of the Castle, we care about that because we're not seeing Roman all the time. Again, MJF gets it. That's what MJF does.
This is also a little bit different from the Brock situation because I've seen Roman and Brock get compared. The difference is we will at least see Roman on TV.
Right. He'll give promos, he'll advance stories.
Shape, form, or maybe even the rare match, even the rare occasion, the rare match.
Right,
but we
tag team match or something like that. Yeah,
way more than we ever saw Brock. So I don't think
that was different.
Yeah. So
that was different. Two pay-per-views would go by. And you never even saw
and
Brock.
The problem
and then
is
he shows
WWE
up at SummerSlam for 5 minutes.
Right, and the problem is WWE would act like Brock isn't here. They wouldn't mention him. They wouldn't mention the WWE title unless somebody specifically called him out and whatever. Right. That was a whole different thing. With Roman, I'm okay with how this has been going. My thing though. Just get one belt. I'm sorry. I'm getting, maybe it's just me, but I'm getting sick and tired of the 2-belt look. I'm sorry. Roman makes it work with the swinging the belt thing. I'm cool with that. But just give me one belt and a different design.
I'm with y'all. I mean, if you want, please,
no, we can hear you.
Please. The thing with the big W is getting on my nerves with both championships. Like
it's horrible.
I'm with y'all. Like if y'all gonna do one championship, just give me one world title. Okay, that's all I need.
And if you're gonna do two shows, make them separate. Back in the day, maybe we're like you got the world title one, WWE title on the other. That worked. That worked better, man. They're different. It's not the same title. Get out of here. Hey, let me
exactly. Not this superstar initiative and people just showing up to be showing up. I don't like that neither.
Well, put up with it because I'm back. Vince McMahon. Before we get to Vince McMahon, I want to ask you guys how does, because just real quick, how does they teased The Rock for a lot, not teased, but they said The Rock versus Roman, this and that. Number one, are you guys invested in it? And I'm asking this: if we get it at if we get it not at WrestleMania, let's say we get it at SummerSlam or Royal Rumble or something like that, we get Rock and Roman, and I'm going to present the scenario that my buddy said about that crack in the bloodline. There's already cracks in the bloodline, but let's say The Rock comes back. He doesn't come back to fight Roman initially. He comes back to, hey, these are my boys, man. This is my tribe, And he comes back, but the Usos and Solo are looking at this man. They don't say anything, but they're looking at him, and you know how they've done the facial expression? They're great at doing it. They're looking at this man like, man, Roman's my tribal chief, but this is a god right here. This is a demigod over here, man. He's Maui. This is the actual tribal fucking chief. This is The Rock. So they're looking at him like that, and Roman's kind of like, damn, like I don't like this shit, And then he fights The Rock, and let's say he does some underhanded stuff, and he lays The Rock out or something. So these guys are really like, damn, he did that to him. The hell would he do to us, kind of thing. So that starts creating even more of the crack, and then that leads to WrestleMania, Cody, Roman, and then at that time, these guys, they don't come defend him anymore. He's now alone. That's an initial pitch. I mean, he gave me a lot more stuff, but just to not go into all that, would you guys be invested in something like that? Would you be invested in The Rock if he's not winning the title, but he comes there to advance and give up something fresh to the bloodline storyline?
Oh, definitely. I've been waiting to see Rikishi, admittedly. So yeah, definitely.
Well, then watch the best damn universe.
Yeah, I would be invested if The Rock is there to. Oh yeah. Watch the best damn universe. Of course, that's how you get Rikishi. I would be invested if The Rock comes back and help elevate Cody Rhodes and them. And as long as he doesn't win the world championships, I don't care.
Right.
Just don't give me a scenario where The Rock beats Roman Reigns.
Oh no, absolutely.
He can help Cody beat Roman. I don't care about that.
Right, absolutely not.
Oh, but actually, no, because that will deflate Cody's.
Yeah, no.
Win. But
no, I would just have him come back to advance the bloodline storyline.
Yeah, pretty much. Like you said, either like SummerSlam, you can probably come back at the Royal Rumble right before WrestleMania. He comes back to have the match, and after that match, you see the cracks, and the cracks just start to form, and then Cody takes advantage of that at WrestleMania, and he beats him. That's what I would do.
And Cody already, then you get
back at this point.
Right, exactly. You have a year to build Cody up. And for people that care, like maybe they make him a little more of an underdog, and maybe that was the whole thing now with Brock Lesnar. Maybe that's the whole thing with Brock Lesnar. Maybe this guy look like an underdog, but he has to be Brock, right?
Oh yeah.
They're going that 2012 John Cena drop. 2012 Cena. He lost to The Rock at 28, and he had that redemption year. He feuded with Brock Lesnar. He beat him. Then he went on in the summer months. He had a Big Show feud, but we don't talk about that feud. But he went on in January, won the Royal Rumble, and then he fought Rock for twice in a lifetime, and he beat him. Got his win back.
Twice in a lifetime. And people didn't care that much. I don't know if you cared that much about that. I didn't care. I didn't care about 29 and about that redemption story. But this will be a redemption story, right? This will be a redemption story with someone that we actually care.
Oh, yeah,
so they could make it work. Okay, so you guys are okay with this thing dragging on to WrestleMania if it's not dragging, if it's told well.
Give me some progression. Every title defense from Roman needs to be crucial. Every match Cody is in needs to be big in some way, needs to mean something. There can be no more filler from here forward with Cody and Roman. and the bloodline storyline. There can be
no filler.
No more filler.
Period.
If you want to do this, that's perfectly fine. But I'm gonna need Roman and Cody. Everything they gotta do got to matter in a big way. Because if you're gonna do the decision and delay this another year, whatever,
you gotta, yeah.
Now you gotta really put the pedal to the metal here and actually,
right. Right, and do we agree? I know you asked it all earlier, Cole, and I'm gonna say it. No, I don't see anybody else. I love Gunther. I love Seth Rollins. Could be a world champion too. They got guys who could be world champion. Drew McIntyre. They got a list of dudes who can be legit world champions. But to me, Cody Rhodes is the man. Like he's not just a champion. He'll be the man, like Cena was, like Hogan, like all these guys. He will be the man in that company. Once they give him that world title, he runs with it. Do you guys agree with that, or do you see anybody else that you would give it to be the man right now?
Nope. Other than Cody, no.
Right. No. Well, Roman Reigns has beaten everybody else.
Pretty much.
He's beaten. He's legit beating everybody that could consider being the man. I mean, like only. And I put this out there. I said the only Roman feud I really care about right now is him against AJ Styles. Current day Roman against AJ Styles. I personally want another match with those two.
That would be fun.
Even I'm one of the biggest AJ Styles fans in the entire world. Even I don't think that he should be Roman Reigns. No. He shouldn't.
I don't think so.
It should be Cody Rhodes. Simple as that.
Unless Sami Zayn gets super hot and people start jumping off the Cody bandwagon, if that organically happens, then maybe you give Sammy his rematch, and that's a great problem to have. I heard this earlier. That's a great problem to have, that you have two top baby faces now that could legit be their main eventing with Roman, and people lose their shit, and it's Sammy and it's Cody. Great problem to have, and WWE hasn't had that problem in a long time. Rock and Austin maybe back then.
Yeah, definitely. But now they got a whole.
It's been a long time since they had like two organically over baby faces.
Right. Yeah. So, man, we can say
the big problem is they don't have enough baby faces to sit here and say, can we carry Roman Reigns to another year?
Right.
Like, think about that. Who else? Who's right now? I'm asking the question.
Randy.
What would you do with Roman Reigns right now for SummerSlam?
If you're not doing Cody, if you're gonna save Cody till WrestleMania.
Yeah,
shit.
In order to make some moves happen, you gotta flip either some of the heels' faces.
Yeah.
And depending on how you do it, you may not have enough steam for it.
I mean, you could still do Randy Orton. You could do AJ Styles if you build him correctly. Like I said, you could do Edge again.
Right.
I don't know. You could have those guys, but are we going to care enough at SummerSlam? And at Cole, did you freeze, bro? Cole. That's fine.
J Dog asked. He had asked like, I had asked like, who should be the one to beat Roman Reigns if it's not Cody? And like,
did you hear anything?
And how would you?
I don't know if it's not him at SummerSlam, which way to go. But you have top guys, maybe returning Randy Orton. You have AJ Styles, like you mentioned, if booked correctly or something like that. You could have the rematch between Sammy and Roman at SummerSlam. Maybe that in a cage to keep people out, something like that. I don't know. You could play with those guys maybe. I don't have anybody else on my head. You could. Gunther is a heel, so I wouldn't put him in there, especially now that Roman Reigns is legit 100% heel, man. They are booing him now because they hate this man.
Yeah.
Not because he sucks. They're legit giving him heel heat now.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, yeah. 100%. The heel heat right now for Roman Reigns is ridiculous. So unless you unless you flip some people,
right?
I don't know like where you can legit say, okay, this guy should fight Roman next, because I don't have. There's nobody right now.
Yeah.
Not to me.
Right, and we'll see. I guess we'll have those conversations as we see more of Raw and SmackDown and these pay-per-views, see what happens. See what happens at Money in the Bank. That'll be interesting to see who you give the Money in the Bank briefcase to.
Yep.
Because honestly, that would be a clear indication on like who is in mind to potentially be your next world champion.
Yeah, true.
Right. They I don't know. They could book that. That's going to be hard, because if you want to keep that all the way to that, you're going to have another failed Money in the Bank cash in.
Right.
Unless you give it to Cody.
Unless you give it to Cody, or you build somebody up and say, okay, if Cody, if we're not going with Cody, we're going to go with this guy. Unless that's your plan B.
Yeah, but I don't see that, man. I don't see anybody there again except Sami Zayn, and now Sami and KO are the tag team champions, which you could take that belt off of them pretty quick. You got the moment. You could give it back to anybody now, and build up a team. That's not the problem.
And
they could
same
go
thing with the tag team division. Please, if you're not going to do the Raw and SmackDown tag team division, just merge the divisions together
one belt
and give us one title, please. Because
like that.
them holding 4 championships it does not look good at all. It looks awful.
Right. Yeah. Right. And let the women's tag team title just disintegrate.
Yes.
Like if Thanos just went there. I don't know if you guys watch Marvel. Thanos
just
disintegrating.
This is please, because the division's terrible, bro. I'm sorry. I was watching the showcase match for the women. I'm like, I don't know half these teams. They seem so random and thrown together.
They were tag teams.
Man.
The only one a little bit was Shayna and Ronda that you can see they are tag team because they've been friends since a long time ago.
And they legit got no reaction. No one cared for Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey.
A former UFC fighter and Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler are probably like one of the.
And we were in freaking Hollywood, by the way, and they didn't give 2 dams.
No.
Yep.
None.
That's how bad WWE has fumbled the bag on Ronda Rousey. Remember how we were all head over heels for her like 5 years ago?
Oh, that first year was great. We were there, Coletrain, right, when she made her debut at WrestleMania 34.
I was
that crowd was lit,
bro. We ate everything they've thrown at us. Like, that was a great match.
And that was one of the most exciting matches, yeah.
But ever since she came back from after 35, I have not cared about this woman. I've not.
Me neither.
It's sad.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, a combination of bad booking or all bad booking, or just maybe her that she doesn't care as much. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
know, man.
I don't know. The only thing I know is that I did trust the process, and I was happy with this long-term booking stuff. I did trust the process, but do we still trust the process now that Vince McMahon, out of his mouth, this isn't speculation, this isn't headlines now that people put in these podcasts, oh, Vince back in power, Vince in creative, when we don't really know. No, now he says he is part of creative from far away. I'm paraphrasing. I forgot what exact word he used, but he said that he's back creative from far away. And if you guys talk, I could look up here because I have the article here. But initial thoughts on that, man? Like he's, can him and Triple H work together, and Triple H have enough freedom where we're still going to get the storylines that we care about? Because even my boy who loved Vince McMahon back in the day, and he said, man, I can't talk bad about Vince in my childhood, like he did this and that. Even he said, dude, after watching WrestleMania and the storyline, he's like, I don't want Vince back. So
I don't want him back either. I don't want him back. As far as him and Triple H, potentially like getting on the same page or whatever, is it possible? Yeah. I mean, they've been family for a hot minute now. You know what I mean? They've probably work together on other things or whatever the deal. But then again, we all knew what kind of Vince thought of Triple H's NXT stint.
Right.
So that's another thing.
But he allowed that until
true, he did allow it. Yeah.
Until they lost to AEW in embarrassing fashion, which WWE honestly they cost themselves for doing that, because they should have just stayed on Tuesday nights. But no, they want to go on Wednesday against a red hot company that everybody was going to care about.
Yeah.
Yep. And like it or not, that is your developmental league. Whether we saw it as another brand, it's still quote unquote.
That's another conversation of another day. Everybody's saying NXT's not developmental, but I mean,
yes, they are. Guys. The company portrays it as developmental.
They are.
They don't care about NXT like that. It's literally you're called up to the main roster. Here, and Michael Cole said it himself a million times. Now the NXT started there in the big leagues.
Yes,
that's literally what he said on commentary. Yeah. So until WWE tells me, oh, we're a third brand, that's NXT. They've been traded from NXT. Until I hear that come out of their mouth, I don't see NXT as a third brand. Never, and I probably won't.
Now specifically they are not. Now nobody I think would say that. Now they're definitely the Lord, I hardly watch it. And anyway, I got the quote here from Vince McMahon.
What?
So he put, because they asked him, is he part of creative or something? Now that WWE's been sold to Endeavor, McMahon's confirming he's back, pulling some creative levers moving forward. His quote unquote, this is Vince McMahon's mouth, yes and no. I guess they asked him, is he back in creative? Yes and no. On a higher level, yes. I don't know what the hell that means. In the weeds, which I always love to get in the weeds in the past, no. Can't do that. McMahon said Monday during a CNBC appearance when asked if he'll be involved in creative. And this is from Bleacher Report.
I think the issue
How do we
with
dissect that?
how can you not be involved in creative on a
Jesus Christ.
higher level?
My
He
reaction
is at a higher
to it
level,
is,
but he's not in the
first
weeds.
off, yeah, he's not in the weeds. So what he means is he's overseeing creative.
Right. He's
So
not in gorilla.
accepting or
He's not in
rejecting
gorilla
things that
position.
are
He's not
coming through.
sitting there. Right. He's not in gorilla position. He's not sitting there.
No, because he can't. Because he legally cannot. Because the
Oh, yeah,
stockholders will
right. That's
sue
true,
the hell
too.
out of him
Yeah,
if he does. Because that's
that's
going
true,
up
too.
against
Exactly.
his lawsuit. So
Right.
Oh, yeah.
he is overseeing creative. So let me give you an example of what he means. This is a CTP example. So basically, expert writes Raw. I look at it and I tell him feedback. That's basically what Vince McMahon's doing. Triple H is writing the show. Vince is looking at it and giving him feedback.
But the problem
is that a good thing? No,
right.
It's not a good thing because look at what there's been reports of from Monday Night Raw that the script changed 3 times.
Right.
During the show.
In 45
That's
minutes.
a Vince McMahon thing.
Right.
The
and you can already feel the energy
on Monday Night Raw. 45 minutes. The first 45 minutes. You feel the energy is different. The script never changed on Monday Night Raw in over 6 months since Triple H been taken over. Ever since Triple H been taken over, those scripts have stayed the same. Everything's been fine. Yes, some matches have been cut because of time constraints, but that's different from changing an entire show.
Right.
Mid-show. Vince did that a lot.
Everything fell on the fly.
That's a Vince McMahon thing. So that was a
that
red flag to me.
defeats long-term booking. Yeah, that defeats the long-term booking that we love.
Right.
That what made this WrestleMania special.
Yeah, it did. It does
exactly, and that's why Vince McMahon WrestleMania 38 it had its moments. But do you say that WrestleMania was special? Not to me.
No.
I thought it was an okay show. Wasn't the best.
It had a special moment with Cody coming back.
It
had a show-stealing match with Bianca and
Stone Cold,
Becky,
Steve Austin,
and Stone Cold. Another great moment. Stone Cold and KO. But was it overall a special WrestleMania like this one? Absolutely not.
Oh yeah,
absolutely not.
No.
So I don't know, boss.
That's
if you
the
want to
difference, and I see the differences already. But go ahead.
I mean,
to
be fair, it's one Raw, but you're right. I felt it more. We talk here, me and Bossman talk a lot here about how did wrestling make us feel? You know, how did Raw make you feel? Because it made me feel too. I'm like, oh man, I just saw this WrestleMania, and now I'm like,
It got to a point by around 10 o'clock hit. I messaged this person. I'm like, I messaged this guy personally. I said, it's 10 o'clock. We got less than an hour left. And I feel like almost nothing happened. Other than the opening segment, other than the Bad Bunny stuff. Nothing else of note or major importance to me happened. I didn't take note during Raw. And I could probably recount almost everything that happened. I will take notes for the podcast.
Yes, that's the thing. Like,
you know,
go ahead, Cole.
So, like, that's what got to me. Like, nothing happened. Like, you had the opening. Triple H said, "Oh, nothing's gonna change. We're still gonna do our thing or whatever." Then we had like the first hour, and nothing happened. Then second hour went by. I'm like, okay, so what are we doing here? This is the Raw after WrestleMania. No surprises, no call-ups, no, starting new stories. Like, it was more of the same old. Seth Rollins came out. He danced for a few minutes and he walked back up the ramp. Like, he didn't talk about anything. He didn't talk about beating Logan Paul. We didn't have no setup for Seth Rollins' next feud. He just danced to us, had his thing going on, and walked back up the ramp. Like, what are we doing here? The women barely showed up on the show, if at all. Some of their stuff got cut.
Yeah.
And then we started with Almost of all people. Like, what are we doing here?
Opening match.
Almost was the first match on the show. Why?
Well, they had to make him look good, after he got beat by Brock.
Yeah, they had to do something, but like,
I guess.
Yes, but why? Why couldn't you have that started have that in the middle of the show? Why is the first bit of action I'm seeing is almost. Like that gave me a red flag already. Like you're not starting off with some of your biggest matches that happened from night 1 and night 2. You're not continuing those things or getting us something different. We're starting with almost.
Yeah, you could have started off. I mean, you already had Cody and Roman.
You could have off to me.
Right, you could have give us that good feel good moment again and start off with the tag team match of the Street Profits and Kevin Owens and Sammy.
Also, random. Speaking of tag team stuff,
absolutely, that should have started off the show. Then you start with a tag team match, you end with a quote unquote tag team match. With that,
but the thing I was going to say about tag team match, I wasn't even going to bring up the ending one. I was going to bring up the women's one that took place between two teams that both lost, and it was a number one contender.
That makes no sense. That makes no sense. That makes no sense when Ronda and that seems like Vince booking. There. That seems like Vince booking there because it made no sense. Ronda and Shayna Baszler win, and then these two women are fighting for the number one contendership.
They weren't even there. Not like Ronda and Shayna came out and attacked either one of them afterwards.
Reportedly, either Ronda Rousey or Shayna Baszler is hurt, and they still won.
Wow.
So, okay, so they won, but one of them walked into WrestleMania hurt. That's what somebody reported. PW Insider said that.
Okay. I mean, unless it's not a big injury, and they're just we're gonna get her win, and then we'll buy some.
Okay, never mind. I'm gonna withhold my statement on that for now. But
no, that's still stupid because if you're gonna have them win and the injury's not big, then you don't have a number one contenders match. You wait.
Why didn't you wait it out? Why wasn't it just a regular tag match?
Yeah,
I mean, you want to do something? Why wasn't it just a regular tag match?
It's a regular tag match. Wait.
That's what I'm saying.
Wait it out.
Like why is this a number one contenders match to two teams that lost? That makes no sense to me. So you made the women's showcase match at WrestleMania pointless. We wasted our time getting invested.
Yeah.
Well, we knew that. I don't know why anybody will be invested in the tag team, the women's tag team division to start, but I guess I see your point.
But yeah, honestly, good God, man. So J-Dog, what do you think? I never asked. We never talked about this. Did Bianca winning, was that the right call to you?
I was fine with that. I was fine with that because Bianca's hot. Bianca's doing it. I don't think you talk about Cody Rhodes not being, built enough or whatever. I don't think Asuka was built enough coming back and being built again. Like, I'm glad that she's kind of back to the Asuka before. And during that match, she was. I mean, those heavy kicks and her moveset, so I was glad to see that Asuka. But I was telling Bossman during the thing, I was fine with Bianca winning that. I would have been okay if Asuka won. I wouldn't have been upset. But I like Bianca winning and now building it up. But they're going to build up a unification match or just a match between her and Rhea eventually. Keep her undefeated. Keep her. Oh, she's not undefeated, but keep her with the title until they fight too. Whether it's SummerSlam, whether it's the next Mania, whatever you want to do.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking because remember Bianca and Ripley were the last two in the Rumble, I believe. That year Bianca won.
Right.
So you can have that play into the factor into the unification match because they said that they will meet again. Now you can have them meet at SummerSlam, unify these women's belts, give us one title again.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Or they're going to walk around with two belts.
What I would do.
So I was fine with that, and we know that.
Oh God,
Asuka's older already too. Not that she's done, but it's okay for her to put somebody over in WrestleMania, and she can still get some moments, and she can still get a run with the title a little bit. She's kind of like what Sammy said one time in a podcast. Like, hey, I can see myself. I could win the title, but I'm not the man. Like, I'll have the title for a few months or something. I see Asuka like that. She can have the title, have it for a little bit, but you got to give it to the the faces of the division, which is Bianca Belair, which is Rhea Ripley, and whether people like it or not, is Charlotte Flair. And Becky, sorry, I'll leave Becky out.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta admit, Charlotte Flair. As much as we sometimes don't like her character, every time she steps inside that ring is fantastic, and she killed it once again on night one. Like that match was absolutely great. I can't even complain.
The moment is huge. Yep. She's fantastic, man.
Because
the Nature Boy delivers all the time, baby.
she get it from my dad, no, but I hope that she's not like her dad and wrestle into her 70s. Please, Charlotte, we don't need you saying woo and at 71 years old. Please, at that point, go home, man.
If they keep giving her titles like they do now, and she wrestles into her 70s, she'll be like a 56-time champion or something like that.
She gonna break Ric Flair regular time.
Oh, absolutely. That's what they're doing.
She's probably gonna be the women to hold the most women's titles. There's no way she's not going to be like she.
That's why people don't like her.
I think 8 or 9 already.
I think something like that.
Oh my god,
I forgot how much, but yeah.
I think that's the biggest reason why people don't like her is because they felt like she was rushed into those world titles.
Right, it was that booking, man. They just
like I said, I agree with that too because I mean 2016 with the hot, they call it the hot potato with Sasha Banks and her.
Oh,
I'm like,
that was the worst.
Man. Like Charlotte wins it, and then 2 months later, Sasha Banks wins it, and Charlotte wins it again. They did that like 4 times. Like that was awful to me. Like I did not like that at all. So I get that point.
Right,
it was bad. It was awful.
Speaking of women titles,
it made both women look worse coming out of it.
Yeah.
It was.
Speaking of women title and crap booking, back at Raw real fast. None of the women champions were in a match. And then you had the tag team championship, the women tag team championship cutting a promo in the back. You can find nothing better for them to do.
Wait, but I was fine. I was fine with what the women's champions did when they came out and gave that promo against each other. That was great.
That was fine. Yeah, the women tag team champions. They in the back.
You could have had them instead of having that waste of a number 1 contenders match. You could have just had them, in a tag team match, or even putting their titles on the line. I don't know.
Yeah, anything
because they didn't put the titles on the line at Mania.
No, anything other than what they were.
My original thinking was that. Maybe the showcase matches were going to lead into tag team championship matches this week. I thought that the winners of both were going to fight for the tag titles this week. But no, I guess I was wrong. Apparently, I was wrong.
Well, if there's an injury, I guess that
saying that the showcase matches don't matter, at least for the women.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And if
I believe it's injuries that's the reason why
that would make sense.
We didn't get them.
That would make sense, and why they switch it up. So that would make sense. That would be fine. Like Boss said, like we'll retract on that. If I can go back to Vince for a second, because Cole was saying like I get what you were talking about, Cole.
Absolutely,
I get what you were talking about, like him being overseeing kind of creative or being in, and I don't know how much is he. That's why I want to know how much, and what we won't know, and maybe we will know as time goes on and we see the product. How much power does Triple H have? Like, is he just in Triple H's ear, like giving him, advice or his take on it? Because if it's like that, and I mentioned this to Boss, I think months ago when I was like, hey, can they work together? Could it be where, hey, Vince, not every idea that Vince had, I'm sure was bad. Vince has, experience and stuff. So some things he might be able to give to Triple H to see a new wrinkle or something like that in Triple H's story where he could take that and still run his own show, still run his storylines, but take some of Vince's ideas, Vince's wrinkles, and put it into his thing and mix it up a little bit. If Vince is doing that, I am okay. But if Vince is telling him, no, Triple H like, I want to do this, and Vince is like, no, you're going to do A. We're going to talk about it, but you're going to do A, not B. And Triple H like, no, I want to do B. If it comes down to that he has the final word, then I do have a problem with that. And I think everybody has a problem with that. So that's what I would like to know. We're not going to find out probably, or maybe we will later on. But that's what I would like to know, number 1. And number 2, the good thing is, man, that Vince McMahon is not his own boss anymore. He doesn't own the majority of the stakes anymore. He has a boss, Ari Emanuel, I think his name here said, the CEO of Endeavor. So he's the CEO now. And he said it clearly. He's not going to be involved in creative.
Yes.
But if he's been paying attention and the board of directors likes what Triple H has been doing, and the consensus has been, hey, we like what this creative team is doing. We don't want to change these things. We want to see it going forward. So if Vince McMahon oversteps too much, if the product starts getting bad, when we just had a great WrestleMania, people were high on it. And if they start seeing, hey, social media, man, everybody's complaining again, the numbers are maybe dropping again. If they do that and Vince is in his ear, does the new CEO, even though he's buddies with McMahon, from what I've heard, does he step in? Does the board step in? Do they like, hey, Vince, you got to take a step back?
Yeah.
I'm hoping that happens. I don't see how, when we see how great this is going, how great WrestleMania was, the feedback and all that, I don't see how they allow Vince McMahon to totally take over power. Maybe I'm being too positive here or trying to see the positive spin, but I don't see how they allow that long term. And maybe that's why Vince gave himself that 2-year contract. I'll be like, dude, just go sit home and collect your money.
Yeah, I think It's like
Yeah,
I think that's going to be the thing. If Vince is if Triple H is just still doing his part in creative, and the only thing he needs to do, like he'll make, like maybe talk to Vince. If Vince doesn't have the final word, then whatever.
Right. They said that Triple H still COO, right? He's still the chief or whatever, or content creator. He's still the head of creative, supposedly. So when I think head of creative, you have the final word. Vince can be, like you said, he's involved on a higher level, not in the weeds. That means on a higher level to me is like, hey, like I'm
he's not like in the office. I don't think he's gonna be like in the office.
I'm giving you my guidance kind of thing. That's how I would want to see it. I'm giving you guidance instead of telling you from a higher level, this is what you're gonna do. But if he's doing that, then we're in trouble, bro.
Cool. You have something you want
to we are in trouble. And the thing with Vince is he's getting a new position. He's going to be overseeing WWE and UFC stuff too. So I'm hoping and praying that keeps him too busy where he's not at these shows.
Oh hell yeah!
Yes. He is
team him up with Dana White and let him go to
majority stakeholder. UFC. Yeah, because I seen the chart. Nick Khan is the president of WWE now, so Nick Khan's over all the release now, like he like he was originally. Triple H is still head of creative. Vince has an unknown position. They don't know what to call it yet because they just merged. And Dana White is the president of UFC.
Of course,
right.
Unless more news came out. When I read it, he didn't have a name yet.
No, I think you might be right. I thought I saw something else that he was yeah, I thought I saw something about, but no, you could be right, and we'll stay on top of that, and then we'll see. But yeah, because Ari Emanuel, I don't know if I'm saying right, Ari Emanuel, he's the CEO, so that's the buck stops with him.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And again, he has majority. I think it's 51% now ownership, and then the rest of the board. So Vince McMahon is not the boss anymore, man. So I'm just saying, if he oversteps, if things start going down, how can you? But you can't blame Triple H and just give McMahon the total reins back. You got to say, hey, wait a minute. Under Triple H, these things have been going well, and now Vince comes in and whoop, now it's going down. Like they got to see that and try to force Vince out of there,
Yeah.
Or put him in a position where he's away from creative, man.
Exactly.
Go do something else. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
we're scared to death. We're all scared to death.
Because Vince McMahon is the executive chairman of a unnamed company.
There you go.
And then Mark Shapiro is the president of it. Nick Khan's the president of WWE. Dana White's the president of UFC, and they answer to Mark Shapiro and Vince McMahon.
There you go. And he could be president. Just stay away from creative.
So.
Be the president, just like that. Just like if you're like a football team, right? Unless you're Jerry Jones, unless you're Jerry Jones and the Cowboys, or Jerry Jones is basically the coach, player, everything. You stay out of it. You tell the coach, hey, what do you need to succeed? You give him the players, you give him that, and then you get the head out of the way and let the coach the team until he's not doing a great job. Then you remove him. But if Triple H doing a great job, leave him alone, man. Vince, coach from upstairs, bro.
So the question I have then,
I mean, what all Vince McMahon really needs to do is just let Nick Khan and Triple H do their thing at this point, because that's who is under WWE as a whole right now.
Yeah, they already sold it. If he wants to be involved in the TV deal, right? If he wants to be involved like he did with the sale, he wants to be involved in the TV deals that's coming up. I think at the end of the year, something like that, or in the summer. You want to be involved in that, with NBC and Fox and that. You want fine, do that. Stay away from creative. Go do that.
Go do that.
Go do that with your stupid mustache, bro.
On Fox, SmackDown on Fox, NXT on Fox. I mean, I wouldn't mind that. You want to make sure Fox give you more money at the end of the year? Then cool. Just stay away from day-to-day operations with creative and storylines. That's all I need you to do.
They could potentially open the door for them to do stuff with ESPN too, because UFC.
It's true.
They got a deal with ESPN.
Absolutely.
So they air their unleashed stuff on ESPN. They got their pay-per-view model. Now I hope doesn't happen is they start doing stuff on ESPN Plus. The ESPN Plus, you got MMA fans who complain about how that works, because what they do is that they got your standard ESPN Plus subscription. But the issue is now about $60, I think, if you want to get like a UFC event. So it's like the double paywall thing. I've spoken with you, J-Dog, particularly about. But it's like this whole double paywall thing. Right. that WWE content doesn't like get into that same boat.
Right.
That's my only like if they start doing stuff with ESPN. That's my only.
And they might, man. They might. In a couple years, we might start paying again $60 for pay-per-view. Get ready for that. It'll take a while, but get ready for that. That would suck.
Oh God, I'm because that Peacock deal is ending soon, and they
exactly
to renew that. So and
hopefully they renew.
I don't know
it. Hopefully
Peacock's going to pay that money.
All right. Hopefully they renew, man. I really hope they do. I wouldn't mind then seeing. Go ahead. Sorry, Cole. You got cut off, man. That's why I cut you off. Sorry.
Oh no, you're good. I was saying I'm praying they renew it because I like paying my little $5 a month. Because Peacock got other options. I can watch Bel Air on Peacock. I can watch the Peacock original series for my little $5 a month. If I gotta pay $60 a month,
they got The Office.
I'm yes. If I gotta do 60,
you ain't got the money for that.
I'll be at the local bar watching it, bro.
Right.
Yeah, While I eat some wings, I'll pay for the wings and I'll watch I'll watch it there.
I will get to it there.
Or I'll probably go into the movie theater and pay that $15 for it.
Do it.
And watch it.
Or you can go online. Or you can go online and steal it off of illegal websites. But we're not going to mention any of them here.
Yeah. No. That's your own Google. You go do it yourself.
What?
Risk your own data. We will not tell you how to do it here.
Oh man. It's been fun, guys. I mean, look, I'm still excited, man. I can't wait to see what comes up, but I really hope that we're not sitting here a month, 2 months from now saying like, man, Vince McMahon has ruined this. I hope we're sitting here saying, hey, Triple H still doing a good job. I could see Vince sprinkled here and there, but it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
And we keep moving forward, and then just keep an eye on the business side of it, see what's gonna happen with that model and that stuff. I wouldn't mind them doing ESPN stuff, boss, with like specials, like maybe like back in the day, Saturday night's main event, but instead of NBC, they do kind of a Saturday night's main event or something like that on ESPN. That'd be cool.
That would be really nice.
Yeah. Stuff like that would be absolutely amazing to see, because that's what I believe Endeavor bought WWE for, is to expand UFC, expand their options, and obviously get more money in their pockets.
Right.
Because WWE is a global phenomenon. It's a powerhouse, and it brings in a lot of money. So, I mean, it's a win-win for both companies. So I hope that is what we see, like more expansion, not, TV getting worse and superstars getting released and leaving, losing their jobs and stuff, because that's what Vince did. He released half the roster while he was still in charge. So I'm scared for those people that just came back.
Right. Expand, advertise. We're going to see a lot more advertising, and I'm cool with that as long as the creative is there. As long as Triple H is creative with that, have the stuff in the ring like AEW had. They have, what is it, Sports Kings, whatever they got. King, Draft Kings. There you go. Sorry.
Hell yeah. I mean, advertising bringing the money.
Except.
Oh, it still got it.
I put it away. Except that Cinnamon Toast Crunch, SpongeBob looking thing, with the damn guy getting out of prison, coming in a damn cop car with and they have SpongeBob looking Cinnamon Toast Crunch all over there throughout the match. Thank God they learned and they took it away. And come on, man. Tell me that didn't bother you, man. That messed up that match for me. Like I told Boss, if that match was like an 8 or something like that, let's say I'm just rating. If it was like an 8, that thing dropped down to like a 5 or a 4 for me, just because SpongeBob Crunch Pants was all over the damn side of it. Come on, man.
Remember that Mountain Dew match with
that was crap.
I'll take that match. I'll take that back after that, man.
Yeah, the Cinnamon Toast one, that was worse. Bray Wyatt had his tongue out, and all you see is his tongue is green. Thought something was wrong with the boy.
That could be another episode, man. What's wrong with Bray Wyatt?
What's wrong with Bray Wyatt? Will he ever come back?
What's wrong with Vince McMahon? Oh, that's a year-long podcast.
Yeah, that's
we can do everyone an entire year and wouldn't be able to figure that part out.
Man, we still got that mustache now. Like he's like, I'm back and I'm a dictator now, so he has to look like one with that little mustache.
James is looking, bro. Please get the man out of here.
And apparently he's dyeing his hair because he's not gray. He's straight black. Like his hair is black again.
I saw it, bro. Just
in denial, man.
Dude, why are you trying to make yourself look like you're like almost 80, dog?
Rockin' Vince.
Rockin', bro. Do that and look like J. Jonah Jameson in the process.
Yeah.
Vince trying to relive his glory days, man.
Yeah, well,
Although he's had gray hair for almost like 20 years, but okay. I guess sitting at home, be like, he's like, well, guess they gotta see me be younger now.
Cole, before we go, I got a question for you.
What's up?
Because this man doesn't believe me. I look at me now. How street am I from 1 to 10?
He is not.
10 being like I'm a Tupac, man.
Don't let him lie to you. He is not. Go on.
I was saying 6.
Oh, look at that! I got a 6, man. Boss, you see that, boss? I got some street cred. Even though he's wrong, I'm closer to a 9.5. No. But I'll take 6 from Cole. That's fine.
I'll take you. That's fine.
I'll tell you the stories. I'll tell you the stories off the air. Off the air, I'll tell you some stories, man. My boy wanted me to share stories, and we were doing live. Tell him about this. And I said, no. I'm like, no, we're not gonna talk about that.
Oh no, not if it's too bad. Leave it off of YouTube now, because
right.
Because once it's on YouTube, it gonna stay on YouTube because people clip.
They do.
You'll be a meme.
Once you take it down, it's still floating everywhere else.
oh yeah. It's never deleted, dog. Never deleted.
And then once I hit my 100,000 subscribers and I'm sitting in an island next to Brendan Plays, I'm gonna see these things popping up and people, look at what this man said. Look what he did.
They're gonna be like,
look what he said all years ago.
Oh man, y'all. Now I know it's 2033, but damn, J Dog 10 years ago, whenever he was talking to Coletrain, he was talking about how street he was. Did y'all hear this? Post this man. Let's cancel J Dog because that boy did not say that he was street. That's how they gonna be. I'm telling you.
That's basically how it is, man. That's basically how it is. 10, 20 years later, we still be doing that. Man.
Oh,
well, unless you guys have more, man. Culture, this was fun, man.
Yeah,
we got to have you back on here.
Yes, sir.
Tell your school to fix the internet, though.
That too.
I had to get boss in line if not to fire him. I don't want to fire you too.
But you gotta fire me. I don't know what you think that is.
Look, he froze again. He got scared. See, that's how street I am. That Cole froze.
Bro, ain't no way. Ain't no way.
I'm back now, but I was saying that this was a great time. I've had a great time. This has been an amazing conversation.
Good,
this
round. I hope you come back. I hope you come back.
And we hope all of you guys
gotta DM me. Let me know. I'll make it work.
We will, man.
We got you.
We will.
I'll make it work.
We got you. And you have a fun spring break.
Just let me know.
Behave
and then
yourself.
I'll come back on here. Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Oh yes, of course I'm gonna behave myself.
Stay hydrated.
Gotta get ready for the end of the semester. I'm excited, ready for summer, and staying hydrated.
There you go.
Turn it up, man. Turn it up.
Yes, indeed.
There you go, man.
And we hope you all enjoyed it as well. And if you haven't, feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the other videos and streams on this channel and Coletrain. We will be sure to leave a link to him down below.
Absolutely.
Spread the word. Spread the word about all three of these. Well, all four, the Hot Tap Podcast, and all three of our individual channels as well. Till the next time we see you guys, be a boss, and we will holler at you guys later.